Hey everyone, Lonnie here. This week I'm going to start in on a TV stand to go in our living room. Now I've got a simple design, but it's not going to be a quick weekend project. It's going to take me a little bit, so I'm going to break it down into segments. That way I don't have 30-40 minute videos. Now the measurements are really not that critical. I'm building it to fit my home. This is just something my wife printed up. I don't know where she found it at. But if you look at it, you can see it's just a series of panels. You got a top panel, a bottom panel, and these panels in between. So that's what I'm going to start off by doing. Now there's a lot more to making panels than just gluing. I mean, as simple as it is, there is a little bit of effort. The problem is these panels are very time consuming. So I'm going to get this part out of the way this week. Next week I'll go to the actual construction. You don't have to sit there and keep holding that. Now this project starts off pretty simple. I've just got to make some panels. Now what I've done is taken some rough cut wood. I've let it air dry, basically an old stock trailer. That way it was not totally protected from the elements. And after planing it down, it gave it some unique characteristics. Now if you look at this board, it has a real nice grain pattern to it. It was rough cut lumber. It had partially air dried. I stored it in a stock trailer for probably 8-9 months after I got it. I've planed it down to 3/4 of an inch or 19 millimeters. I'm going to start by cutting them to the length of my panels, planing one side with a hand plane and then running the other side down the table saw using the hand plane side along the fence, join them up and start gluing my panels. Now that I have the first boards cut to length for my panels, I'm going to take a straight edge, and whichever side is the straightest, this one here, I'll just set right down in here, lock it in, and start working it down. Signs of light, and I go through, because I want all these boards to be roughly the same width. And after you've done a lot of planing, they can vary quite a bit, from a little to a lot. Got some that are 3 3/4 and some that are 3.5 inches. What I'm going to do is just call it 3.5 inches, or I believe it's 89 millimeters. I'll just plane them down. As you can see, it turned out pretty decent. I had a few uneven boards, but instead of separating all my uneven boards, I kind of just mix them in, because if you get a bunch of boards that the joinery is not quite right, you'll have even bigger gaps. And this is going to be about one panel out of 4 that I need to make. I'm simply going to line up one end, get everything just roughly eyeballed the way I want it. I'll just set it up just about like this. And you see I got the glue rack out, I've got my pipe clamps ready to go, I've got water for cleaning, my glue, and the brush is way out of reach. Now I've got my 5 panels glued up. Now it's time to prep them. I'm not going to go into a full finish, but just smooth them up, get any extra glue off of there. And I'm only going to sand them down to about using an 80 grit. That way it gives me a nice clean panel to work with. Once I get the initial sanding and cleaning done, then I'll trim the ends off for my final length. Now out of all my panels, this was the worst one. I was in a hurry, I had to go somewhere. So I have quite a few imperfections on it. I'm going to start by cleaning off a lot of the glue. This is the bottom side. What I'm going to do is I'll take a large chisel, keeping it almost flat, and that'll get rid of a lot of what sticks up. You're not following the smaller chisel, taking my time, because if I dig in, there's a lot more I have to fix. But you can see the glue at this stage. When you go to finish it, you'll see a whole lot more. If you dig into the wood, it's better just to back up a little bit. And what you see here is a nasty lip. I've got the glue cleaned out of there for the most part, at least what I can safely do without gouging it too much. But this lip here, if I run my hand plane over, it's going to grab and possibly rip out. So what I want to do is smooth this up as much as I can. And I'll take tiny little shavings just right off the top. Chisel almost flat. And I'll work my way back and forth across it, just a little at a time. What we're actually going to do almost camouflage that ugly lip. Once I get it worked down, then I'll take a plumb plane. And I'll work back and forth until it's almost a flat surface, and then I'll hand plane it. Now at this point, yeah, it looks gnarled up, but we're a long ways from finishing it. I've got most of these hard lips taken care of, so now I want to plane it. So I'm going to take bench hooks. Get it locked into place real good. I'm going to back my fan plane off, and I'm going to start working my way back and forth across. Don't want to take off a whole lot at once, just a little bit. Now I have it cleaned up pretty good. I've got a few indentations. I had a clamp. I was in a hurry on this once again. Kind of left some marks in the wood. And made some extra marks with the plane. So what I'm going to do is simply use a damp cloth and an iron to loosen the grain or make it expand a little bit, because wood does compact. This is a real simple process. Now I'm hoping you can see this. There's a little indentation here, and I've got a few other marks I'm going to work on. All I'm going to do is take a shop rag or cloth, get her pretty moist, preferably not dripping, but pretty moist. I'll just kind of double it up there. I'll just take an iron. This iron is dedicated to the shop. You don't want to leave it sitting in one place for too long, because it will burn your wood. Now I do have this turned up. The reason there's so much steam coming off of it is the shop's kind of chilly right now. Now if you look down here, it's almost removed the indentation. Still going to require a little bit of sanding, but I'll go through different points on the wood, lift up any low spots, and then I'll begin the sanding. but it gives me a good base to start with. This side's done. So I simply flip it over, and I do the exact same thing for the other side. There it is, my first panel. It's cut to the length I intend to work with and the width. Most of the blemishes have been worked out of it. It's not perfect, and it's not finished. The 80 grit was just simply to give me a consistent surface all the way across. It does have some blemishes in them. On making a TV stand or shelves or whatnot, you can just hide some of the blemishes, and sometimes the blemishes add character and actually make something look better. So I'll get to work. I've got 4 more of these I've got to do, fronts and backs, and then I'll move on to the next step, which will be in next week's video. But I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch. Please ask that you stick with me through this project. I've never had to divide one up between multiple videos before. It's just going to be too long otherwise. Thank you. Hey everyone, Lonnie here. This week I'm going to start in on a TV stand to go in our living room. Now I've got a simple design, but it's not going to be a quick weekend project. It's going to take me a little bit, so I'm going to break it down into segments. That way I don't have 30-40 minute videos. Now the measurements are really not that critical. I'm building it to fit my home. This is just something my wife printed up. I don't know where she found it at. But if you look at it, you can see it's just a series of panels. You got a top panel, a bottom panel, and these panels in between. So that's what I'm going to start off by doing. Now there's a lot more to making panels than just gluing. I mean, as simple as it is, there is a little bit of effort. The problem is these panels are very time consuming. So I'm going to get this part out of the way this week. Next week I'll go to the actual construction. You don't have to sit there and keep holding that. Now this project starts off pretty simple. I've just got to make some panels. Now what I've done is taken some rough cut wood. I've let it air dry, basically an old stock trailer, that way it was not